What's up, everybody? This is Colin from Holistic Heritage Homestead. I hope you're all well. Today we're going to talk about harvesting moringa seeds, also known as malungai. Now, this is a dwarf moringa. We purchased these seeds from Baker Creek Seeds, I believe, and if you check out my previous videos, I really like Baker Creek Seeds. Awesome company, heirloom, non-GMO seeds, awesome seeds, right? So couple things or a few things we're going to talk about. One is going to be obviously harvesting the seeds today. Another thing we're going to talk about is, I guess you call like crowd growing, or just, intensive growing, or just what I like to call just taking, making the most of your container real estate or any growing real estate you have, whether it's in ground or it's in containers. I believe sometimes you should just pack things in. And we're not always growing just to harvest vegetables and fruit and green. Sometimes we're growing just for seeds. So what we did here was planted 2 dwarf moringas in a very small pot. Now these would grow larger. These have been harvested, so there's not a lot of moringa on here anymore, but we left some on just to make sure photosynthesis was still happening and the plant was still alive and healthy. And very easy to harvest these seeds. So even though these might not have produced as much moringa or as much malungai as we would like, it's awesome because in this small container, we're getting these seeds. And these seeds are kind of expensive, okay? They're kind of expensive. So anytime you can harvest seeds, that is just great. Because the whole point of growing your own food is to be more self-reliant, to be more self-sufficient. You don't want to have to, especially in an emergency preparedness scenario or situation, you don't want to have to, or might not even be able to, buy seeds. Grow your own, okay? Grow stuff to eat, grow stuff for seeds. Very important, folks. So what these beautiful plants do is they will put out these branches that have these pods, okay? They also, before that, they put out these beautiful flowers, by the way, just beautiful flowers, and they're just awesome, right? And I think I might have seen some hummingbirds actually near these flowers at some point, so perhaps hummingbirds like them. It's always good to grow different types of plants that produce different flowers or different types of pollinators and all that type of stuff. And when these put out these pods, what you do is I recommend letting everything go to maturity. So a lot of times that I think people have a problem when they're harvesting seeds is they don't let things mature. They don't let them necessarily dry out like they should, because the seeds might not be viable. They might not be good seeds unless they're mature, right? Think of nature. Do what nature would do. Nature would let these go full cycle. They would dry out, they would break and or fall off, and then they would either fall in place or let the wind move them around. So let's go for it. Let's see what happens. Let's harvest this here. Snaps off with ease. It's just so cool. Beautiful. So I'm just going to open this up a little bit, maybe if I can, and see if there's any seeds in there. Now, I do not want to lose any of these, because if there's seeds in here, remember, look at this nice fibrous woody material, mulch in place. Check out previous videos, folks. Whoa, looks like there's some seeds in here. I don't want to necessarily open up this full pod because I do not want to lose any of these. These are valuable. So these, really cool, really cool. They come with this little, almost like I guess the word would be a husk, or this almost like paper-like material around it. And that is beautiful. So if I were to try to open this up, I might just go for it. Let's see how many we can get here. Let's see how many seeds we can get. Okay. So this is one pod, folks. One pod. And we have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 seeds in one pod. That's awesome. Now, I will tell you from my experience, the germination could be a little spotty, okay? Could be a little spotty. So even though there's 11 seeds here, I might not get 11 plants from this, and that's fine because You know, you gotta be in it to win it. You know, you gotta go for it to grow for it. You know what I mean? And that's a win, folks. So if you have containers that are just sitting around and you have a growing medium, you have some soil and or potting mix or soil, grow stuff. Grow. Don't stop growing. If you have more than one plant and you know it comes down to, hey, I have a plant but nowhere to put it, try crowding it. You know, try just putting it in some type of container or putting it in your garden beds or putting it in ground and see what happens. If you lose, here's what I think. You can't fail on extra credit. So if you're growing and nothing happened with this, that's fine. Because your containers, where we have larger containers with single plants and we show them a little more love, a little more attention, they have more room for those roots to grow, they're going to produce more. Sure, that's going to be great. But it's not about that. It's about not wasting those seedlings, not wasting those little plants. You should never waste seedlings. Crowd grow, put them somewhere, and or you could also do, check out my previous video, you could also just put them somewhere where you're going to grow food for your livestock. This is a super nutritious plant, super nutritious, lots of vitamins, lots of nutrition in these plants, okay? These are good for us. These are good for our livestock, for our, our pigs, our chickens, and you can't go wrong with a little bit of a harvest. And again, this has been harvested already, and you can't go wrong with the possibility of getting some seeds. So give it a grow, folks. If you haven't grown moringa, I highly recommend it. You might not get seeds from every plant, but that's why you plant as much as possible. That's where the volume comes in. It's like investing, right? One investment might do well, another investment might not do well, so you diversify, but you also just invest as much as you can because you're hoping to get one or more investments, a return on one or more investments, right? So try growing this plant. And if you don't have space, if you're in a suburban or an urban situation and you have limited space, no excuse. We don't believe in excuses because this is a small, very small container. Now, give it a shot, folks. Take advantage of any growing space you have at all times. It's very, very important, folks. Okay? I hope you're all well. If you've ever grown moringa, let me know. I want to know your experiences with that. Let me know if you've grown the dwarf moringa or if you've grown moringa in containers, I'd like to know. And just let me know your thoughts. We appreciate you, and I hope you're all well. We really appreciate every subscription, every like. Please hit the bell icon. Over 350 subscribers now, and for a humble small channel, that does mean a lot to us, folks. Okay? Let us know in the comments below. Take care.